Hello and welcome to week 12 of our NFL Pick'ems series. My name is Chris, and join with me from a state far, far away is my friend Jason.
Hey, Chris. Greetings from the other side of the country. Glad I can make it for a few minutes onto our call and do our pick 'em. This is going to be a little different than usual, but let's have some fun.
All right, to recap, we're going to do this, try to speed run this a bit. Last week, I went 11 and 3, and Jason went 9 and 5. We went 4,
Respectable.
yeah, 4 and 2. But just for you to stay above 500, you're doing really well. Went 4 and 2 in the contested pick. Chris re-extends his lead back to 6 games, like the olden times, for a total of 114 to 52. Where Jason lurches forward to 108 and 58.
Yeah, what can I say? You were a pick 'em king this week, Chrissy.
My all-time lead is 7, and then you dwindled that down to 4, and now it's back to 6. So,
All right, still got time to crush you in the end.
still a lot of weeks left for sure. All right, let's get into our recap. We're going to try to speed run this. We'll talk mostly about the contested picks and then glaze over the ones we agreed on. First up, we've got Thursday Night Football with the Redskins, almost. Redskins and the Eagles. Very close game,
Commander.
but I had a good feeling in my heart the Eagles would be more consistent.
Yeah, Washington was up early in this one, it looked like. I didn't actually get to, because I've been traveling, I didn't get to see any of the games this week. So if you
Oh,
like my extremely ignorant takes, smash that like and subscribe button. Yeah, but in seriousness, it looked like Washington was ahead early, and then Philly just kind of dominated the second half. Is that about right?
I was planning to watch this game, but I got really sick, so I just kind of listened to the
No,
first
man.
quarter and then I tried to nap. So I actually didn't watch
I
this game.
gotcha. Anyway, yeah, I think Washington kind of hit a high in the third through maybe like seventh, eighth weeks, and they've been coming back down to earth a little bit since. Still a good team, but I think that the fact that Philly playing well was able to kind of dominate them, at least in the second half. Just kind of shows that Washington still has a way to go.
Exactly. Let's see. Next up, we've got the Packers and Bears. Last second field goal, or the Bears would have won this, but it was blocked. That's pretty much the gist of it. Really good game from the Bears.
Remind you if anything?
Yeah, really close game for how the Bears have been playing lately, so it's nice for them. This was their first game with the new offensive coordinator, and they did look way better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This gives a lot of hope to Bears fans. I think let's see whether that momentum sustains at all throughout the season.
All
Often you
right,
had
we
that
don't need
one
your
game.
memoirs. Okay.
All right. Well,
Next up,
what's next?
we got a shit stomp by the Lions, 52 to 6 on the Jags. It was the expected result, but what a dumpster fire this was. And
Yes,
were you
40.
thinking the Jaguars were on upset alert for this, the Lions?
Not really. It's the Detroit Lions, right?
But you keep
I
blowing
do
smoke up the
actually.
Jags' ass.
Yeah, I think they're a better team than people think they are. I think they're a much better team than people think they are after this because man, did they get dumped. I did want to just I know that we're trying to speed run the last week's games, but this is the one that I wanted to talk about for a minute. But the Lions have, aside from their loss from the Buccaneers in week 2, they've been beating all the mediocre teams on their schedule. They've been absolutely demolishing the bad teams on their schedule.
Well, as someone told me, you can only play the teams
Hmm.
on your schedule, man.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying they've either beaten the okay teams or they've absolutely stomped. They don't play down to bad teams. But at the same time, you look at their schedule. Rams, Bucks, Cardinals, Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings, Titans, Packers, Texans, Jaguars. Those are their wins so far, except for the Bucks who they lost to.
Some of those teams are good.
Um, Vikings, I guess. Packers, but they only beat those teams by a few points. Um, they beat the Packers by 10, they beat the Texans by 3, they beat the Vikings by I think 3.
Well, you got a
Two. They beat
point,
the
but
Vikings by
I don't
two.
think this is one of those
Yeah.
situations where this team is just, you know, not anywhere near
I
as
don't
good
think
as
they're
they look.
frauds by any
Yeah.
chance. They're definitely not frauds. They're a top 5 team, no question about it. But I would say you look at some of these margins of victories, and you might think they're the best team in the league, and maybe they are. Right? They haven't had the chance to prove it yet. They play the Colts and the Bears in the next 2 weeks. Then they have some tough games at the end, and we'll find out what they're really made of. Packers, Bills, Bears, 49ers, who are going to be, I think, good again by week 17.
All right, we
Vikings.
spent a half an
Yep.
hour on Detroit.
Okay,
Now we
let's
got
look
to
at the
spend
Bills
at
game and
least
see what they do. Yeah.
we got to spend a minute on the Miami Miracle here. Their first dominant win in like 2 months or something. This is
Yeah,
a
probably their
30.
first dominant win since last year. This was another one where it was fairly close early, and then Miami pulled way ahead in the second half. I think they're absolutely capable of doing that. The thing is, they have not succeeded in creating a game script this season. Where the other team was desperate.
Yep, and for our prop bet, I believe Achan had just under or just over 100 scrimmage yards, so far short of the 250 predicted scrimmage yards of our prop bet this week.
Yeah, that's with such a good game script for them too in the end.
Next up, we got the
Still
Rams
not a bad game.
just barely beating the Patriots, who've been playing a lot better lately, with Drake May getting a few games in.
Yeah, Patriots not a bad team. The Rams certainly also playing better lately. And I think this was the expected result, though.
Yep, and then we got a blowout of the Browns by the Saints, even though Jameis Winston put up like 450 passing yards in this game and only amounted to 14 points. That's tough to do.
That's incredible. I didn't get to see this at all. Was Cleveland kind of like making a lot of like desperation, long throws and garbage times? He was getting a lot of yards, but then they turn the ball over or just go 4-and-out.
Well, I didn't get this game in my area, but I do know one thing.
Mhm.
Taysom Hill had like 49 points in this game. Fantasy points.
Taysom Hill always has either 49 or 0 points.
I know, it was crazy. He had like 150 rush yards, like 50 pass yards, and like 4
The dude
touchdowns.
is one. I mean, he might be the most curious like fantasy case that we've ever seen, at least this decade. He has like 3 games a year where he completely goes off, and he's just like constantly being given the ball and does so much with it every time. And then like 13 games a year where he gets like 1 touch. It's so weird.
Yeah, I know what you
Good for
mean.
him.
Next
Yeah.
up, we've got the Steelers with the slight upset against the Ravens in Chris's brilliant call.
Yeah, I wanted this to happen. I didn't think it would. I'm so happy for the Steelers. The Ravens are definitely a team, like I always say, that are fantastic when they're playing up to their standard. Sometimes they play down.
And in reference to my prop bet, it almost came true. Derrick Henry was terrible in the first half. He did not get a touchdown. He fumbled on the second play of the game, as I called, and he did only have like he only had like 16 rush yards in the first half. Unfortunately, he did get some action in the end, and he went over 50 and did get a rush touchdown. But it was pretty close. I have to say, it was probably my closest prop bet of the season so far.
I think you're grasping at straws on that one, but okay. What did he finish at as far as yards?
Less than 100. I don't know, it was like 70. It was like 70 or something, I think.
All right, so he beat your standard by about 50%. Not a terrible call by you.
Next up,
Then
we
we got
got the
Minnesota,
Vikings.
Tennessee. It looks like.
Yep. Vikings beating the Titans by a comfortable margin, improving to 8-2. This was probably pretty predictable.
Yeah, Minnesota stops their slide against Tennessee. Remember, Tennessee has been getting blown out recently, so even the fact that Minnesota beat them by 10 is not. It should not give us a lot of faith in them.
Next, we got the heartbreaker games. We've got this super nail biter. The Jets were so close, to be honest. All they needed was dude, shut up, dude. I was, dude. All they needed was a fucking not miss the field goal at the end, and they would have won this game. This was like their best offensive showing all season, honestly, by the Jets. They just couldn't.
They were down by about 3 touchdowns, weren't they?
No, they were leading for a lot of this game. I think you
The
might be.
Jets?
Yeah, you might be. This They were dominant in this game.
Oh,
Then they
okay,
gave up like a
okay.
14-point lead or something. They were up by two
Well,
possessions.
when Aaron Rodgers, the radioactive, like, I don't want to say cancer, the lead anchor is on your team. It's gonna just pull everyone down.
Bro, this was the defense, man. Get out of here with the
The
Aaron
guy
hate.
did not even want to play. You could see it on his face, at least according to everybody that's in my chat that actually likes Aaron Rodgers.
You're such a hater. You're crazy.
Oh, I know.
All right, now this
But
next game
yeah.
you can hate. I knew
Hmm.
that this was going to be a tough game for Kirk, but I didn't have any idea it would be this tough. 6 to
Oh yeah,
38
yeah.
demolition. I knew the Broncos had a good defense, but I thought Kirk could at least put some points up. But goddamn, what a disappointment! Such a
Yeah,
bummer.
if Atlanta was Kirk, Denver was Q in this one. They were just playing with their food.
Think you mean
I
Picard?
heard Bo Nix was fantastic in this game.
Yeah, I think he got 4 touchdowns. All right, next we've got this huge upset, I guess you could say, from the Seahawks. And now the Seahawks and the 49ers are both 5-5. This is a pretty disappointing game and one the 49ers probably couldn't afford to drop.
Well, yeah, I mean, you still look at it like who's gonna take over the 49ers in the division? Is it the Seahawks? Is it the Rams?
No, it's the Cardinals.
Probably the Rams, right?
Cardinals are ahead of the division.
Oh, the Cardinals. That's right. They're
Somehow.
so forgettable.
I know.
Yeah, it's actually one of the most interesting divisions in football right now. You have four teams that are all decent but flawed, and all very competitive for actually, pulling ahead with the right games.
All right,
Um,
time for my
mhm.
grandstanding. Next up, the Chiefs finally fall. They were the most paper tiger 9-0 team in NFL history, and the Bills
Oh, you don't remember
honestly,
the Vikings from a year or two ago?
I remember that season. And then the Bills
That
were
was
super
paper
good in the
tiger.
second half. And man,
Uh-huh.
they went for it on this ballsy 4th-and-2 play. And instead of settling for the field goal, Josh rushed for like a 20-yard touchdown and made it a 2-possession game and put the game away. It was a thing of
Yep.
beauty. Fuck the Chiefs, man.
And bold risk taking, particularly on offense, is almost always rewarded in the NFL, and most coaches are too scared of the media to do it. So good for them.
It's about time.
Yep. These two teams had a very even history in the regular season. It's the playoffs that the Chiefs always win in. But
Perhaps.
good call on that upset.
All right, and then Sunday night we got the Chargers with the comeback win over the Bengals. They gave up like a
Hmm.
3-possession lead in like the second half or something, and then never scored again.
The Bengals were way ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason we call them the Bungles. This is just a team that can't do anything right. What can I say?
Well, they can put up a lot of points, but man, they can't stop anything.
Not when it matters, they can't. They've had a few chances this season, where one drive would win a game, and they just failed miserably.
All right, and
All right.
then lastly on Monday
Yeah, tell us how
night,
much your Cowboys lost by.
it was 34-10, and the only thing that made this game even
Right.
more painful is how incredibly
Mm-hmm.
close it actually was in the first half before the Cowboys just parted the Red Sea as usual and just got blown out to smithereens in the second half. The Cowboys actually played this really close and were very stingy, surprisingly, with the defense in the first half. And I heard this amusing statistic that Troy said during the game, Troy Joe Buck, and they said that the Cowboys can't stop anyone in the second half, and the Texans haven't been able to score against anyone in the second half for like a month. So it's like one of them had to give. So we
It's like the extremely movable object and the very weak force.
exactly. Of course, the Texans came out ahead. Nico Collins was pretty
Yeah,
big back in this game. Anyway, the
yeah, he's
Cowboys
definitely
welched.
their best weapon.
It was a much better game from Cooper Rush this week than last week, which was just a complete embarrassment. But obviously, the Cowboys are just in complete tank mode.
Yeah, I mean the scores don't always show it, but I really do believe that this team lives and dies by Nico in a lot of ways.
No, Joe Mixon had 3 touchdowns. He's been really good.
Yeah. I mean, but when was the last time he was able to score 3 touchdowns in a game? Right? You got to have that wide, deep passing threat.
No, he's been good
Yeah,
every game for
Mixon's
like
very, very
a
good.
month.
You can think about what the Bengals might be doing right now if they still had him.
All right, that does it for
All
week
right.
11. Now we got to go
One
to.
question for you: who do you think is the best team in the league after this week?
I was saying the last 2 or 3 times we've done these videos that the Lions I think are
You
the best.
you still think it's the Lions?
I still
Yeah, I
think it's
think
the
that's
Lions.
very fair. I would say it's the Bills.
I mean, I do think I think the Bills are good, obviously, but they do have within
Mm-hmm.
them some kind of, sometimes they'll put up a stinker, whereas the Lions, I don't think they're in potential stinker mode. And even the Ravens
Yeah,
don't look as,
yeah. I mean, I see your point, and the Ravens also definitely in contention. Buffalo's beaten several really good teams, right? Obviously, like you said that I say, the Lions haven't had the chance to beat really good teams yet, and they've done everything that they need to do. So I don't know. I feel like Buffalo can play up to the strongest teams, and they don't even really have to play up. They just have to play them
right now
better than anyone else in the league. Hmm?
in my mind, I'm still putting like the same order from like the last 3 weeks. Let's say like the Lions, then the
You got
Ravens,
Lions. Yeah,
Ravens, Bills, and then the Chiefs, and then the Steelers. We
yeah.
got to start talking about the Steelers, man. They're pretty good. And then the Eagles down there
Yeah. I
somewhere.
mean, I think that they are like second tier, very good. Um, but I think that's also a team that you just kind of watch, right? And that they don't have the same firepower that the other 4 teams we just talked about, including the Chiefs, have.
Mm, all
I mean, the
right.
Chiefs haven't shown it in a few weeks now. Yeah. All right, let's get on to week number 12,
Week
13,
12.
12.
First
Yeah.
up, Thursday night, we got the Steelers heading to Cleveland. I actually kind of got a lot riding on this game because, being the buffoon that I am, Kirk and Josh are on bye this week, so I actually have to get a third fantasy quarterback. And I made my decision. I am riding or dying with Jameis Winston this week. Bro,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be putting up 450 yards against the Steelers, buddy.
check this fantasy lineup. He's made like 52, 38, and 55 fantasy points in his 3 starts, man. That's pretty good for, just throwing him his
Just a
ass.
reminder that Chris's fantasy league gives 3 times as many points to quarterbacks as any other fantasy league does.
It's just 1 point for completion. It's nothing convoluted. But yeah. But I mean, yeah, I could take Russell Wilson too, but I think Winston has a higher ceiling. Russ just hasn't. Najee Harris has been too good, so Russ just hasn't been putting up as much as he could.
I get that. I get that. He doesn't have as many opportunities for touchdowns or even completions in your league. Um, I still like the Steelers a lot in this one. Cleveland has been a bad team this year. They're better under Winston than they were under Watson.
Of course.
But yeah, but Pittsburgh really, really is showing to be a tough-nosed team that isn't going to let easy games go.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna pick up Winston, but like you, I'm also picking the Steelers. Of course, I'm not that crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is probably not going to be the greatest Thursday game of the season, but it will be cool to kind of see if the Steelers can dominate the Browns,
No,
and then we
I'm
talk
watching
about
this.
them.
Yeah, I'm watching this
Yeah, we
one.
can talk about them. I'm going to be watching it too. It's my first chance to watch football in a week and a half. But yeah, yeah, I think if they can dominate the Browns instead of just get a squeaker win, we do start talking about them as being in that top tier of football teams.
Next up, we've got the Chiefs at home against the Panthers. Could we
I
be
know you
talking
want
about
to
a
pick
losing
against the
streak?
Chiefs every week.
Could we be talking about a late season collapse, 2-game losing streak? Bench Mahomes. What?
I don't even know who their backup is because they don't need a backup.
Carson Wentz is the Chiefs' backup.
Oh, really?
That's a good
Okay,
backup,
that's cool.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do, quite honestly. Um, Come on, why do we need to talk about
Because
this, Chiefs?
I'm always joking. I'm always joking when I watch the Chiefs with one of my family or friends. I'm like, I'm ready to see Carson Wentz every time Mahomes throws a pick. I'm ready to see some. I'm ready to see what Carson Wentz can do. Come on, let's go.
That's funny.
He's thrown a record like 12 picks this season, so get to make fun of him a lot.
I mean, look, when you're trying to make tough throws, you're gonna throw some picks. Also, I'm sure some of them were the ball bouncing off the receiver's hands. Absolutely true. He hasn't been playing to his potential this year. But yeah, this what are we going to talk about, man? It's the Carolina Panthers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like
It's
the
a
Chiefs are
home
going to win this.
field advantage, right? Yeah.
Panthers looking a little more competitive recently.
Dude, the Panthers they put together a 2-game winning streak. They were on bye last week. Surging Bryce Young. Yeah.
So you saying that's 3 games in a row that you haven't lost?
Well, they won 2 in a row, then they went on bye. So now they're ready
Yeah,
to
three
really hit.
games. 3 games in a row. It's basically been a month since the Carolina Panthers have lost a game.
Yeah, man. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, this ends Sunday, November 24th. Yeah, that the Panthers can kiss their win streak goodbye. Next.
Yeah, I'm also going for the Chiefs. Gotta protect my lead. Next up, we've got the 8-2 Vikings, who I don't think are nearly as good as the record indicates, and they're going up against at home the Bears, 4-6. This I think might actually be a much closer game, just because I think the Vikings' offense has really kind of shuttered the last several weeks.
I haven't gotten the privilege to see much of the Bears as they've been playing better. So the Bears to me are still like that offense that can't do anything. And I'm gonna let my bias take me here, and I'm gonna go for the Vikings, and I don't even think it's gonna be close.
Yep, I say the Vikings can still pull it together. I gotta go with the Vikings too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next we've got the 2-8 Titans going to Houston against the 7-4 Texans.
I
Fresh
think
off
the
of
only
a
question here is Nico Collins playing? Because if not, it might be a closer win than you think for the Texans. But I believe he is playing.
well, he's definitely playing.
So we've got a blowout for the Houston Texans this week at home.
I actually don't. I don't think this will be a blowout, just because C.J. Stroud has just been playing so poorly the last like 5 games. I don't think they're gonna lose, but I don't think they're gonna win by like 3 possessions or something.
You think this will come down to second half of the fourth quarter?
I
Maybe
think
another Fairbaum field goal?
it'll be like a 10-point or less game.
Okay. I don't see that happening. Tennessee's just a bad team. Houston, again, with Nico in, they don't even need Stephon Diggs. They just need, that like reliable third down threat plus deep long field threat that Collins brings. Um, I think of him in the same like class as like Amon Ra. I know they're different physiques, but they both do a lot of the same things for their team.
So you got the Titans?
No.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just because I'm at my computer, I can't remember who I'm picking.
Next up, we've got the Lions at home, or going up against the Colts at home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, I don't think will be close. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a point in this game where Joe Flacco comes out and plays, and they unbench him for a 3rd time this season.
Unbench the bench. Yeah. Indianapolis doesn't have the firepower to compete with Detroit. I'm sure they're going to try, and who knows? Maybe they can make it close in the first half. Detroit's going to pull away, I think.
All right, this next game, which could be conceivably close, we got the 3-8 Patriots going up against the fresh off of 1 or 2 wins Dolphins here.
2-win streak.
2-win streak. What a world. Did you think we'd be here at this point in the season with a 2-win streak?
Yes. I picked the Dolphins the last 2 games. I think.
Yeah, we both did.
Oh no, I actually picked the Rams against the Dolphins. Yeah, that was a close game. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like with Tua back, the Dolphins are a very competitive team. New England also playing up recently. I said at the beginning of the season, give them maybe half a season, they're going to be a competitive team as well. I think this will be a hard-fought game. I think it could go either way. I'm going to pick my Dolphins in this one. I think particularly at home with Tua, with their line a little bit healthier than it's been. I think they're good enough to win this. What do you think?
As much as I want like a chance to sneak another win, yeah, the Dolphins just have too many weapons, and I can't even think of an offensive player the Patriots have outside of like, the quarterback. So that's a
It's
problem.
true. Ramondre?
Oh yeah, Stevenson. That's right. I guess he's a good.
Yeah, that's about it.
I don't know. I only know his name because he gets all the carries, and that's pretty much it.
And because he's got a cool name.
All right, next up we've got the Bucks off of their bye week going up against the Giants, also off of their bye week.
Yeah. Is this Toilet Bowl 12?
Nah, not quite toilet bowl levels. But this might have to be the toilet bowl game of the week.
Yeah, I guess this is
There's not another one that's worse.
the bad matchup. Yeah, I can't find it, right? There's a lot of one-sided stumps this week. There's not a lot of interesting and competitive games between two bad teams. And that's what we've got here. The Buccaneers have been awful since they lost two of their best receivers in the same game. One of them entirely by the coach's fault.
They have lost a lot of games, but offensively they have not been awful.
I mean, they've put up some points, but honestly, even those, like when I've been watching them, I know Baker's been playing above par, but it's just been like their offense has not been able to kind of like chain stuff together.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a chance Mike Evans comes back this game.
Oh, okay, so that would be interesting.
Godwin, of course, is totaled for the season, but Mike Evans only had a boo-boo.
I still have to punish the Buccaneers for their bad player management. I'm going with the Giants in this one.
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind. I am so on the Baker train. He has just impressed the hell out of me this season. I am beyond with the Bucks.
I like him, but this is a defeated team.
Nah, man, they're not playing like a team that's given up on the season, man. They're playing on like a team that still thinks that they can bump, Atlanta out of like the divisional spot.
Why do they keep choking?
Their defense sucks. To be honest, it's not like it's like a defense is like a 4 out of 10 unit, but this offense, man, it can ball. I'm telling you.
It's just not the same since that one game.
And their running game has been like really picked up the last month.
Yeah, that's been solid. That's been solid.
Bucky Irving emergence has been real, man.
That is one thing that I believe the Giants are pretty good at, though, is stopping the run.
We'll see. Okay, next up, we've got the designated shit stomp of the week the Cowboys will get themselves into. They are traveling to see the Redskins, who are 7-4. They're going to lose this game probably even harder than they lost against the Texans, I bet.
You think Washington's going to get 7 touchdowns ahead and Terrell Owens is just going to come out of the stands and stand on the star?
Probably not 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a point in the game where they bench Daniels since he's been a bit wobbly. But I do think they'll
bench
have
Daniels?
Not for like playing bad, just to spare him the rest of the game. What I'm saying is they'll have enough of a lead to rest him, is what I mean.
Take a rest, you've earned it?
Yeah,
got
exactly.
it. Yeah. Okay. Go heal those ribs, buddy.
The Cowboys' defense...
40-minute head start this week.
The amount the Cowboys' defense has regressed off the side of like the damn cliff from the last 3 years is just absolutely legendary case study collapse.
If Washington said we don't even need to play Jaden and just brought out Mariota this week, could they still easily win this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think maybe. Um, so I'm taking the Commanders as well
Yep.
to just absolutely whip those privates into shape.
All right. Next up, we've got the Broncos against at home playing the Raiders. And if you thought the Falcons couldn't put up any points, I think we're going to see a repeat of that over here. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, it's impossible to pick against the Broncos when they're playing a bad team right now. We saw what the Dolphins did to the Raiders this week, and yeah, Las Vegas just not playing well. I don't think Denver's going to look past this divisional matchup either. I'm taking the Broncos all the way.
Yeah, man, I've been a proud owner of that Denver defense since like week 3, and man, it is not disappointed. Except that one game where they got nuked by the Ravens. Other than that, they've put up like 30 points every week. It's been incredible. All right, next we've got the Niners, 5-5, going at home against Green Bay.
This is one of the most interesting games of the week.
Yeah, time was I would have been definitely Green Bay. They just got so much going on, and McCaffrey's back. The defense is always good, but things have been these W's have been hard to come by.
Absolutely, and Green Bay playing a lot of close games this season. Most have gone in their favor, a few haven't. This feels to me like a game that Green Bay can handle. I'm going to take the Packers.
Yeah, that seems smart, but I just can't imagine the 49ers going under 500 again. I'm saying that the loss to Seattle was just too embarrassing. They'll course correct. McCaffrey will, be good or do better than
Seattle
last.
isn't a terrible team. Seattle isn't a terrible team. Like they've been playing, close against, decent teams this season.
They're not
I don't
terrible,
think that
but
was
they're
just an
not
embarrassing
great.
loss. Right.
Well,
And that's the same thing I'd say about the 49ers this year, honestly.
No. For the 49ers' aspirations, it was an embarrassing loss on their schedule to drop a game to the Seahawks.
Okay. That's fair. That's very fair.
So I'm going with the Niners. They will recalibrate. Yeah.
A fully healthy 49ers team at home, I would definitely take over the Packers. The Packers are a good team. I think they've got enough to beat the 49ers, so we're going to split our decision on this one.
Gotta disagree on something other than your crazy ass Giants pick. You're insane. So at least we'll go even when you're wrong about that one. Fucking insane pick. Okay,
Look,
next
man,
up,
sometimes when you're making a good dish, you got to add some spice.
we got the super surging Cardinals that we can't make fun of anymore against the Seahawks at home. And, how do you think this one's going to go? Because in my mind, this one feels hard to call.
It is. The Seahawks are an okay team. The Cardinals are a team that are capable of absolutely anything. And honestly, like I haven't followed their wins and losses at home versus away, but I have a lot of memories of them dominating on the road. So I don't think this is one where being away is really going to hurt them. The Cardinals just, when they look good, they look so good. I think that in a divisional matchup later in the season like this, I don't think they're going to be the house of cards. I actually think they're going to bring it. I'm taking Arizona. What do you think?
Well, I think these 3 years have really shown that Geno Smith had what it took to be a starter the last 12 years. And I think he still has a lot left in the tank. It's disappointing how much his career was squandered. But I can't root against the hot hand. The Cardinals have won like 4 or 5 in a row now. Until someone pumps the brakes on the Cardinals, you got to go with the hot hand in a game this close.
Yeah, even in a lot of their losses, they found ways to lose. They played well enough to win. Yeah, as far as Geno Smith, I mean, it's just so sad when a player has to start their career on the Jets. It's just really, really sad.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, on his rookie season, didn't someone like beat the shit out of him in the locker room and like broke his jaw and he like missed half the season or something? Wasn't that how his NFL career started? He got like jumped in the locker room by one of his offensive
By one of his
lineman.
teammates?
Yeah, they
Oh
like
my
beat the,
god.
they like broke his jaw in like 12 places or something, and he missed like most of his rookie season or something.
Was that Rex Ryan or was that after him?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah, it could have been Rex Ryan, but I'm pretty sure
Maybe
that was
Rex Ryan
Gino.
fell on him.
That was how Gino's career started. I'm pretty sure. I remember that
Oh my
story a long
god.
time ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you got to be able to come back from. I mean, look, you've got Brian. Oh my God, Brian Robinson. What's
Who's
his
that?
name on the Commanders? The running back, the second running back. Not Austin, obviously. Who got anyway? He got shot at the beginning of last year. He was in the hospital. It was looking like he might die. He made it. He was playing like 4 or 5 weeks later.
Oh no, I think
Um,
that's one of the Niners running backs, not the Redskins.
oh no, it's the guy on the Commanders.
Unless there's two guys who got shot.
Yeah, there was somebody I think who got shot this year on the
I
Niners.
swear they've
But
told that
last
story
year.
every Niners game. I swear.
But yeah, well, I mean, it really makes you think about life. It's worth telling a lot of times. But anyway, yeah, grit and resilience are some of the most important properties to have in the NFL. It's also good to be able to throw accurately, Deshaun Watson.
Okay, just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Takes a stray.
All
Anyway,
right.
yeah, I think Chino's absolutely got it. It's just really a shame that he had to start his career in New York.
Next up on Sunday night, we got the Eagles playing against the Rams at home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this one?
The Rams are playing well now, man. I mean, so are the Eagles, though. That's the scary thing, right? Like, the Eagles, I've been saying all season, very capable of slop. But when they play up to their own standard, they're a top tier team as well. Saquon has been so good. On the
Mhm.
other side, Stafford's been playing a little bit better. Cup is finally like totally healthy again now, and is dominating out there. They don't even need Puka. Obviously, it would be nice to have him.
He had a
And
big game last week.
he did take a bad injury last game that will have him out, I think, for a while.
For real? Because he had like
So
20 fantasy points Sunday or something like that.
yeah, no, he's a very good player. I still think that offense can operate without him as long as they have Cooper Cup. Um, they've still got a good defense. They've lost a couple players, just due to free agency, contracts, retirement. But they're still a very good,
Yeah,
they're still a very good team when they're playing well.
I think Kyron
McVay
Williams is pretty good too.
McVay, Kieran Williams, absolutely, yeah, very good running back. We've talked about him enough that I think everyone understands that by now. But yeah, that they have every part of the offense and defense they need to be a good team. But so does Philly. Philly doesn't have a single weakness when they're playing well.
Yeah, so the Rams trade for like Cam Akers to win this.
Oh man, that would be like the ultimate int. Um, Speaking of which, McVay hasn't inted in a while now. I still
Okay,
think
he
that
can't drop a game unless it's an int. Okay.
I still think that the Eagles are a hot enough hand, and tend to be a streaky team. I still think that they're a hot enough hand that the Rams don't quite have what it takes to stop them right now. I think the Rams are a good team. I think the Eagles are a better team. I want to take LA so bad. I'm taking Philadelphia.
Yep, I agree. I think Saquon's just playing out of his damn mind. The Rams' defense is pretty lackluster. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
both of them could put up a bunch of points, but I don't see them keeping up with the Eagles. Yeah. All right, Monday
Yeah.
night. This could be a super close game. We got the Ravens playing the Chargers at home, and these Chargers have been sneaky
Mm-hmm.
good the last month.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. They
just
have
put the
actually started
Bengals
to
in their
blow out some
place.
bad teams.
Yeah, and the Chargers actually have one of the best defenses right now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Baltimore, however, obviously a really, really good team. Just had I don't want to say an embarrassing loss, but a surprising one.
Surprising to some, anyway.
I mean, if you had to put the percentage on that last game, Where would you had that?
I would say it's like 55% Ravens.
Yeah. So even that was a little bit surprising to you. I felt like it was also probably like 55, 58% Ravens. And so I took the Ravens. Yeah, Baltimore has had a few collapses in the last few seasons where they, kind of lost it near the end of the year. They've also had times where they've just played their minds out near the end of the year. I feel like the scope of this game is anywhere from a blowout by the Ravens to a close win by the Chargers, and it can be anywhere in that. It could also be a close win by the Ravens. I don't see the Chargers blowing out the Ravens here.
So who do you got?
It's a really the Chargers are sneaky good. I think we know what Baltimore is, and I think they're good enough to probably take the W here. I have to pick Baltimore. What do you got?
Well, I think I got enough of a cushion to be the contrarian over here. I'm going to say the Chargers. The
Ooh, I
Chargers
love it.
defense will be good enough to keep the Ravens down a little bit. Plus, maybe they can study the old Steeler footage and make some adjustments like the Steelers did. So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
going to
think
say the
Baltimore's
Chargers.
quite like.
I do completely agree with you. There's no way the Chargers will blow out the Ravens. Where I do think the Ravens
Mhm.
might blow out the Chargers. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, the interesting thing, unlike let's say the Eagles or even the Chiefs to an extent, Baltimore has shown that their offense doesn't usually get slowed down even against really good defenses. That's what's the most impressive thing about them, and that's why I'm taking Baltimore. But I like your spice pick here.
yeah, I can spare it.
You've been having a hard time lately, Jason. Have a game for free.
The free one I gave you was the
I
fucking
don't.
Atlanta Denver one. That was the free one I gave you. I knew Kirk was gonna get blasted, man.
I don't need your charity, Chrissy.
That was the freebie I gave you. I think
All
Aaron
right, all right.
legitimately had a chance to beat the Colts, man. It was close.
Please, he sucks.
Okay. All right, that does it for week 12. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh, wait. We didn't do our prop bet.
Oh, yeah. All right. We'll see you guys right now then. I'll give you my prop bet. I think that in the 7 early games this week, the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, I think we're going to have 3 games decided by 25 or more. It's going to be blowout city.
I'm gonna go in line with my fantasy hopes and dreams. I'm saying Jameis Winston,
700 yards.
Jameis Winston gets
J. Jonah Jameson? What?
he gets 300 passing yards or more
Huh?
and 3 or more touchdowns, man.
That's not even. That would not even normally be a prop worthy pick, but against the Steelers, I'll give that to you. Okay.
I sweeten the deal. He won't take any sacks.
Ooh. Okay, that's bold.
That's tough, right? Yeah.
300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 sacks.
Yes.
Whereas Deshaun Watson would be like, "Oh, they're coming at me. Okay, I'll just sit here. I'll kind of like move my arm up in the air. Oh, they got me."
It'd be bold to say he was
Yeah,
going to get
Jameis
200.
is way better at throwing away the ball when people are coming at him.
Deshaun, I'd be like, he won't take 5 sacks. Oh.
And I'd be like, "Wow, that's a bold bet."
He'll get 200, I swear.
Did not manage that all season.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, yeah, that was Duty Brown City in Cleveland for a while. It's amazing they paid him $280 million.
Yep.
I think the Raiders are off the hook for giving oh my God, what was his name? It was also a J.
Jay Gruden?
No. John Gruden getting $10 million a year was just absolute malpractice too. But at least he didn't go against the salary cap. No, the quarterback who was a huge bust. They took him as a rookie. They gave him like $60 million a year. He could throw the ball a real long way, but he had no accuracy. He had just no idea for how to play with the speed of the NFL. I'm losing his name right now. He was one of the biggest busts in NFL history. And he caused the league to create these rules where you can't pay a rookie more than a certain amount for the first for the rookie contract.
Is it Terrell Pryor?
No, it
I
was a
don't know.
quarterback.
Well, Terrell Pryor used to be a quarterback, and then he became a wide receiver because he sucked.
It was like it was about 10 years ago, and then the Raiders were really bad for a while.
Derek Carr was their quarterback like a long time, like 10 years ago.
I think it was before. Yeah, it was right before Carr actually. I think Carr replaced him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I should have this, but anyway, yeah, I think after the 280 million Watson contract, the Raiders are off the hook for that. All right. Anyhow, that's our picks. We'll see how we do in our three contests, and I guess see you next week.